Speed.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show today, episode 212. It is Friday, September 6th. I'm your host, Kellen. With me, Tim.
Hi, guys. How's it going? Tim here.
Extra energy today. Welcome back after a week off and a fabulous show ahead. There are a lot of things going on. The Pixel 4 is creeping. You reviewed the Note 10 Plus. Android 10 is here. There's new Wear OS watches. There's Google Assistant stuff. The Galaxy Fold is back. OnePlus TV is coming. There's new phones. It's IFA. There's actually a lot going on. We like the other day. What was it? Yesterday we were going through. I don't know how many stories, and you said, "I can't believe it's only 1:30. It feels like it should be like 4 o'clock because we had done so much stuff." So, lots of fabulous stuff. Oh yeah, Bertzer, the Xperia. The Sony Xperia 5 is official as well.
Oh, Jesus.
On the show, though, after we get through topics, we will do trivia. Trivia back once again. If you're new around here, we do trivia at the end of it almost. I always say every show, but I think like one or two shows we didn't, so I can't say. Almost every single show we do trivia. 5 questions, 5 winners. This week, the fine, fabulous folks at iFixit have given us 5 essential electronics toolkits. So we're giving away tools. iFixit, they've given away tools on the show in the past. These are, do you have one there? I don't have one handy, but they are.
I have multiple here, actually. I'm not right on me, but they are my favorite kits just because they actually have everything you need to really get started in. Like, you don't even need to like repair your phone with these. Of course you can, but right. So the Essential Electronics Toolkit, I'll tell you what it features. It has a 4 millimeter bit driver, angled precision tweezers, a spudger, a jimmy, an opening tool, opening picks. You can even play guitar with them. I've done it. Suction handle for prying open those devices, and then screwdriver bits. You've got Phillips, pentalobes, flatheads, torque security, tri-points. If you want to mess with your phone, this is totally great. As a homeowner, it's also great because you never know when these little tools are going to come in handy for miscellaneous projects around the house. I remember I replaced my Echo B smart thermostat with a Nest using the iFixit toolkit. So just a nice little toolkit to have around the house.
They are fabulous. I believe I have a couple of them. I don't know if I have that specific one, but I definitely have a couple of their toolkits because, remember when I hacked into a Nexus 4 and made it white like a few years ago or something like that. So, yes, we have 5 of those to give away at the end of the show. Again, we'll run through topics, then we'll do trivia, and you'll have a chance to win those if you want to. So stick around.
Nice.
As long as you're listening live. I mean, you could play if we're not live along and just act like you won, something like that. Okay, so first topic, Galaxy Note 10 Plus. So it's been 2 weeks since we've done a show. Last week, I believe it was last week, you dropped your Note 10 Plus review. I know the Note 10 is like old news to everyone now, probably, or something like that. But we should still talk about that. It shouldn't be old news. It's like a week out from retail. Are you still using it?
Daily, dude. I love this phone.
Okay. All right. So then let's talk about that. Why do you love the Galaxy Note 10 Plus?
I think I hear the truck backing up now. So what don't I like about this phone? If you read my review, you may have noticed there wasn't really anything in the not so good section. A lot of positives with this phone and definitely not a lot of negatives. Samsung, as I almost dropped it and I'm not using a case. Okay. First things first, the display. Massive Quad HD plus dynamic AMOLED display. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Very dynamic.
It's such dynamic. Fantastic display. I love watching YouTube videos on it. I love playing Lego Tower and all Pokemon Masters. We're going to talk about that later. I hate that game. So the display is absolutely great. Love looking at it. The second is really, considering how large the device is, it's not hard to use at all. As Samsung says, it's impossibly thin. So, and, earlier this year, I think I was talking about curved displays. I was, feeling kind of old, feeling like you.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't want curved displays. But on this, considering its size and you want that usability, the curved back and the front really kind of meld together in this very usable form.
The curve.
Yeah, Michael, the
The
curve.
curve.
And the curve works really well. At least on this device. I still don't want my Pixel 4 to have a curve, but whatever. Cameras on the backside, they seem pretty good. My camera usage has been somewhat limited just because it's been like really hot outside, and so I haven't really found myself outside a ton to take pictures. I took plenty for the review and all that, and like the shots that it did take are great.
The sun comes out and we just melt here in the Northwest, so we don't
See,
take
then,
any
like,
pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, so in the winter when we're reviewing Pixel phones, we're like, oh, we wish it was sunny, we could get out, take pictures. But then when it's hot and we're like, I don't want to be outside because I'm like, my skin will just
This
crisp.
complexion. Yeah.
Exactly. So I need it to be like a constant 60 degrees and somewhat cloudy. And that's like Northern California, where I'm from. So camera good, display good, hardware excellent. S Pen, used it 5 minutes, tried out those new air gestures. Thought they were one of the more confusing and terribly implemented things I've ever tried.
100%.
It works really good in the gallery app. When you kind of press down on the button and kind of give it the gesture swipe, it worked just fine. But when you're playing music and you want to skip tracks, or God forbid, you want to go reverse a track or play pause, like things get really messy and the gestures don't work as fluid as they would, say, in the gallery or when you're in another app. So S Pen, anyone who loves the S Pen will probably still love the S Pen, but this S Pen has not gotten me, into using it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that's S Pen. And really like the backside, that color, that aura glow. It picks up fingerprints like nobody's business. It's actually quite disgusting. But when you wipe it off on your chest, on your washboard abs, and you kind of, you show it off, like it's just, I love all the colors, man. This is the one phone in a while where I've used it out in public and people stop me and say, yo, what phone is that? And I'm like, it's that Note 10, baby. And they're like, oh man, like I got to check that out. One guy even had a Galaxy S10 and he was like, oh, like, should I trade up to that? And I was like, no, you don't need to trade up to it.
Not really.
But like, if you want this color, you got to.
Yeah.
But other than that, the battery life was solid. The speakers are solid. I don't know what's not solid about this device. This device, is like what I think a Note phone should be. It's got everything. It's got the expandable storage. It's got all the RAM you'll need. Unlike, your Note 10, that's, it's the poor man's Note 10, which, I mean,
The
it's
$1,000
it's
poor man's
offensive.
phone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's offensive. Other than that, that's the Note 10. Yeah, it's not. I kind of like it.
Are you gonna keep using it? Like, obviously, are you gonna keep using it
Yeah.
until the Pixel 4 comes out, and then you'll see?
I haven't even thought about switching back to the OnePlus 7 Pro. Like, that's
Really?
how much I've enjoyed using this. The performance of the software, One UI is like, I really like One UI. It's good. I haven't even thought about like the 90 hertz versus 60 hertz. I haven't even like noticed it. Like, so like when you're doing something, scrolling through Twitter or whatever, like that's not something you notice. So I know people, they're
Some
hearing
people
that
might, yeah.
yeah, I know some people are just like, oh man, the Pixel 4 is going to have 90 hertz. Gotta get it. Like, nah, man, it's not really all that noticeable, at least to me. And I wear glasses, so you would think I would know, but maybe I don't. Anyway,
So you love it.
I love it. And for the people in the chat, yep, Kellen and I are white, Caucasian, living in the Northwest. So we burn, dude. We burn in the sun.
Yes, we do. We don't get much
not a
sun.
fan.
So when it comes out, you should see Portland the day after a sunny day. Everyone goes
red,
from white
like
to
lobsters.
burnt. Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty great.
Yeah, it's not offensive. Anyway, sorry, you were asking of something?
I don't know what the hell I was asking. Oh, I just said, are you going to keep using it until the Pixel 4? But we kind of talked about that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not switching back to anything. I have been. I'll be probably using this along with the Pixel 3 XL that's now on Android 10, just because I want to get a feel for. I'm just gonna keep calling it Q because I like Q better than just Android 10. But I'll be using Android 10 a little bit on the 3XL and in between the Galaxy Note 10. So a lot of 10s in my life right now. Android 10, Note 10.
It's a lot of 10 action.
Can't wait for the Pixel 4 though.
At some point, I'll probably. So this is the regular 10, the poor man's Note that Tim just described.
Ooh.
I've been using it for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. It's not that I don't like it. Remember I talked, I think, on the last show about how this is one of those years I just don't really care about the Note. Like, it doesn't, there's nothing like pulling me in saying like, you should use the Note. And then I got this one in hand, and for the first day I was like, this is great. I really like this phone. Mostly for what you said, like the feel in hand. Actually, like this curved display, I don't mind that much for some reason.
Someone clip it.
Yeah, please do. And you know, the display's great even at 1080p. I don't care. The little hole punch is fun. There's an S Pen, which, like you, I've used all of twice. I think I pulled out the coloring book app, and that was about all I did with it. But I don't know. Something about it I don't love. Maybe it's because it feels so familiar. Like compared to the Galaxy S10 line, this is very similar. I know it's different than the Note 9 because it has like the hole punch and stuff, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like anything incredibly special. Maybe it's partly because I have look at all those fingerprints. Wait. There we go. Ooh, nasty.
You been eating chips?
Yeah, no, that's just them natural fresh oils. So maybe if I had the color you have, I'd be much happier. I actually wanted the white one, but that was like back ordered forever, so we got stuck with this black. So I don't know. Like my biggest problem was I took it like on a couple of short trips. And the camera, I thought, was insanely slow to shoot multiple shots. So while I love the flexibility of all three different lenses and all that stuff, like I'd be taking a photo of my kid or family or whatever, right? And I'd tap, and then I'd tap again, and tap, and I just keep tapping, and it would take one, sometimes two photos after hitting the shutter button 17 times. And like the Galaxy Nexus from back in whatever year, that thing used to be able to just go tap, tap, tap. I know it took crappy photos, but you could go tap, 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 and it would just take photo after photo. So that's disappointing to me. It's one of those where when I go out in public, I want a phone that I feel like I can rely on the camera. And, you know, I lost some confidence there. The other thing is this thing right there, absolute worst idea the tech industry has ever come up with, I think. The in-display fingerprint reader, because we're what? How many phones in are we on these? We've got optical, we've got whatever the hell this is, ultrasonic. They're all terrible. Like this thing does not work. We're a solid year
into it now.
Yeah, like this thing does not work at all reliably. It's hard to find. When it does try to scan, it's so slow. It's awful. I really wish like this right here would go away and we could start putting them back there again. Or over here in the side, somewhere else that's not there in the glass. Just doesn't work. Other than that, the phone's fine. I've been using the Pixel 3 because I'm over it.
Real quick in the chat, 6 Maxwell 99 says, you guys are always so negative on Samsung phones.
It's not actually true at all, but okay.
He must have just tuned in. Yeah. I was just talking up the Note 10 like it was the best phone ever.
Tim just said it was the best phone ever, yeah.
Real quick, I want to get to some donations we got. I don't want to miss those.
Yeah, we have a bunch.
Nick Fisher with the $2 says, hot take, the Android 10 gestures are good.
Oh, we'll come back to you,
mostly. Nick. Yeah, don't worry. We'll fry you.
We're coming back to you, Nick. Yep.
Sarah Washington with the $2 says, have you given any thought to the next charity? We're giving it thought. We just haven't decided on which one. Coupled with that, if you have any recommendations for a charity you want us to think about or keep in mind, please, email us or hit us up on Twitter. Maj hates all $5. First time donating, should be ashamed of myself. Thanks for everything you guys do. Don't be ashamed. We greatly appreciate the generosity. And Maj says, hey, here's another $2. Here's more. Buy some sunscreen and take photos.
That's pretty good.
That SPF 1000. Here I come.
That's pretty funny. Thank you guys all for all the donos. Yeah, we'll choose another charity before long. We just haven't really had a chance to give it serious thought. We want to choose something proper. We will definitely do one before the end of the year. Hopefully, we'll decide this month and start. I know I talked that we would start maybe September, but probably more like October 1st. We could do a last 3 months of the year thing or something. Let's shoot for that. Please,
I kind of like that.
please keep reminding
honestly.
us so that we actually remember.
Well, it's busy times around here. We got the new phones coming. We got Pixel
Yes.
coming up. Yeah, just keep reminding us. We'll get you. I
Random
like that
note.
last 3 months.
Sean
of the year.
Tillman asked, I'm in the Seattle area. Is Portland dramatically different? Yeah, it's better. Next topic, though. Are we moving on from Galaxy Note 10?
I'm kind of with you on the fingerprint reader.
It's so bad.
It's not great, but it's not as bad as you make it sound.
So bad. Like, if you're
It
in
works
any sort of
90% of the
environment
time for me.
where you want to blindly just like scan your finger, like, so those rear ones, you could always you don't have to look at it. You can feel for it. There's like a dimple. You put your finger there. It scans it. You pull it out of your pocket.
Sure.
Never look at this thing. You have to look because you have no way to know where it's at. And then you have to get it just properly placed and then it unlocks. And if you're ever so slightly off, whatever, it just never works properly. So I've gotten to the point of just using face unlock, which I'm sure someone will tell me is not secure. It's, I hate these in-display things. Like I know the rumor is that Google's going to ditch in-display or fingerprint readers completely and just go face unlock only. I'm fine with that. I don't know that I would ever thought I'd say that, but I think that may be better than in-display because I'm just going to use the damn face unlock anyway. So yeah, just get rid of the in-display fingerprint reader altogether at this point. If you're not going to bring it back to the back, I'm over it.
So two things. We got another donation from Tech Boner. $2 says just my name, period. Yep, Tech Boner. Thank you so much for the generous $2 donation.
Shout out Tech Boner.
Tech Boner. And then we had a question from Patty Anderson. Do us 3XL 128 gig folks want to upgrade to Pixel 4 and why? Not sure. We're going to talk about the Pixel 4 right now, though, so maybe you can make that decision yourself.
Or, wait till they come out.
And we actually know what they offer.
Yeah, so I will maybe have some sort of mini review of this guy if anyone cares my actual opinion. But Tim's 10 plus review is like done. You can read it. You can read all of those thoughts. And no, we aren't actually that harsh on Samsung phones. Tim did just get done talking about how it's the best phone and he plans to use it for a long time. So
the real Note 10 review is up. Highly recommend you go read it.
Yes. If you want my thoughts, one of these days I'll write something about this phone.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk Pixel 4 then.
Yes.
I'm over this Note thing.
I hate the Pixel 4.
So the Pixel 4 is not out. I mean, I don't know if you didn't know that.
Spoiler alert.
It'll probably be out in a month. Google likes to announce things on October 4th for whatever reason. Did they stick to that last year? Or did they go October 5th or 6th? I can't remember.
Can't remember right off.
Either way, they did 2 years on the 4th. Last year was within a day. That's kind of where they should we look at a calendar real quick? I always love looking at calendars. The 4th is a Friday, so I doubt they will announce it that day. So my guess is October 3rd, a Thursday. That might be a good day.
Then it'll go up. Then up for order on Friday?
Possibly, yeah. Don't they often put everything up for pre-order right away, though? I mean, they could wait and go like October 8th or 9th, but now we're getting late. So I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, somewhere right in there, they will probably announce this thing. So Pixel 4, again, not official. I mean, officially, we know what the back looks like because they've showed us that picture. We know it's going to have Project Soli radar and facial recognition and some gestury stuff. Like they've confirmed all of that. But now like the leaks are starting to come, right? So the leaks are flowing. So a rumor a couple of weeks ago suggested that they would have 90 hertz OLED displays. And then the guys at XDA were looking at Android 10 code, I believe it was.
Who does that?
Yeah. In fact, well, thankfully they do because you and I just, that's just not our thing. But I'm glad that they do because they find actual useful information. Like, I don't know that I would ever be able to read any of this and interpret it. And XDA is like, don't worry, dumb guys at Droid Life. Yeah. We got you.
Let us break it down for you plebs.
So, I mean, seriously, that's kind of what it feels like sometimes with some of the stuff they report. So they found a 90 hertz reference. And as you guys know, the Pixel 3, 3XL, I'm pretty sure the 2 and 2XL and 1 and 1XL do not have 90 hertz displays also. So that kind of leads us to the Pixel 4 and 4XL having 90 hertz displays, which is fabulous news because as Tim just said, you cannot tell a difference between the Note 10 60 hertz and OnePlus 7 Pro's 90. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to tell. I'm actually really excited about the smoother display experience we may get there. Outside of that, we have all sorts of pictures now. We got a couple of quick GIFs. Yes, I will always say GIF, and a little video. Like, somebody is in a testing facility. I'm pretty sure this is just the same person over and over. Somebody's in one of those testing facilities where they're probably testing, who knows what. They're finding bugs, testing network connectivity, all of that stuff. And they keep posting things to weird private Telegram groups that eventually kind of gets out into the public. So we've seen hands-on pictures. Yeah.
Very dangerous.
I don't know that we know which phone is which. Like, is this the 4 or the 4XL in all these people's hands? But they're flipping the phones over. They're showing the screen. They're showing boot animations and tops and bottoms. And
tops and bottoms.
At this point, we have a pretty good idea what the 4 is going to look like front and back. And we've got pictures and video of the white one too.
Oh,
which, come on, everyone's buying the white one, right? Because that black one is going to be it's going to look like this. Wait, there we go. It's going to look like this. You do not want your phone to look like this, right?
Yeah, you want it to look like these.
Yes, like that. And the white one will be closer to that than this. At least the white one will hide this. Look at it.
Yeah.
So gross.
Fritos, Doritos, Cheetos.
Like, that's pretty nasty. Look at that. I just smeared. Having a lot of fun actually doing that. That's nice. That is nice. Anyway, so your Pixel 4 will look like that if you get the black one. Anyway, so the white one's out. It's got a little orange button, whereas the black one has a little white button, power button on the side. The camera housing is just a black square, which sort of guessed. The front, the only thing I will say about the front, and I posted a story about this right before we went on air. The bottom chin is starting to look thicker and thicker with like every leak. At first I went, oh, the chin's so tiny. It's no big deal that there's this giant forehead. And it's starting to look thicker. So hopefully it's not.
It's that forehead that's looking thicker and thicker, man. Like, I honestly can't stand looking at the front of the Pixel 4. And I think, if there's one thing that kind of keeps me away from really loving that device, it's going to be looking at it. That front is bad. And the thing is, like, the Project Soli and the radar chip and all that stuff doesn't even really interest me, because I tried using that type of stuff on the G8 with the TOF camera on front, and it's not a natural experience. Maybe it will be on the Pixel 4. Maybe it'll be smoother, more intuitive.
Oh, it will be.
Doubt it.
Google does everything really great out of the box, right?
Yeah, that's true. You're right. No, it's gonna be brutal.
It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be buggy as hell, and there won't be any features, and they'll promise things down the road and all of that stuff.
So I like the backside, except when you flip it around to that front, coming from a Note 10, and you got one too. I mean, there's nothing up there.
Right.
Nothing down there. Nothing on these sides. On the Pixel 4, there's nothing but bezel. It's like being transported back in time. You're
a bit spoiled because you went 7 Pro, which has not even a punch out, right? There's nothing. Yeah. And then now you're on that. So, yeah, it might be a shock to the system for you if you take on a Pixel 4 for a while. For me, I went Pixel 3a for way too long and then was back on Pixel 3 and then went to the Note 10 for a little bit here. Now I'm back on Pixel 3. So I'm like used to the old school bezel. So, it'll just be another day in the life for me when I get that Pixel 4. But yeah, I know they put all this fancy tech up top, and that's fine for facial recognition and all that, especially if they're ditching fingerprint readers. But yeah, it just, we're looking a little dated. We're looking a little dated before we get released, just like we did last year with the 3XL and the giant double wide notch thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I feel like it's another one of those years where Google's so late because they like to do the October thing instead of releasing it when everyone else releases phones, that you kind of go, guys, like, this is from like 8 months ago we were doing. I mean, they're even further behind than that. Everyone else is doing hole punches and notches, and Google's like, let's bring the bezel back.
And like that's the thing, if they could incorporate this tech into the display panel itself or underneath and kind of, get with the 2019 trend of like making a device look all display, then we'd be in business. But no, it's like they're just reverting back to what we've already seen and what doesn't really look all too good. However, the thing about Google hardware and what we've seen before, once they switch to Pixel, is that Pixel pricing. How much is this phone going to be? How much is this tech going to cost the consumer?
Way too
And then,
much.
yeah, and then apparently we're still only getting 6 gigs of RAM. There's certain things that I think that the consumer, really kind of treasures, not really treasures, but they prefer over, and I won't say gimmicks because I've never used solely before, but it could turn out to just be kind of a gimmicky thing like LG did with their air gestures. So Google, why don't you just give us like 8 gigs of RAM? I don't know, do something better in the hardware department, and then you can start charging those prices that we know that they're going to charge for this phone. This is going to be an expensive device, at least the
I'm
4XL
sure.
version.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Well, yeah, Google stuff hasn't been that affordable. So, I mean, it hasn't been budget price by any means. So, yeah, I'm assuming they're going to be, because they'll charge for all that Soli stuff. The thing I will say about Soli, and I know you're saying it's going to be overdone and overhyped and all that. Remember that damn video from I/O where we went, oh my god, and they were just twisting little violins almost to like move the watch. Like that was the coolest thing
watch.
ever.
On a watch,
Well,
it makes so much more sense on a watch with a tiny display that you don't want to touch. On a phone, it's got big display that you want to touch. That has like very good touch screens. On
But
a
if you could just
smartwatch,
reach over and do like a little snappy flip of the wrist, and it just like does all this
look at
stuff.
the flip of the wrist.
Yeah, like
like
something
if
just-
it does that every time that if it plays that sound effect, that'd be fine.
Yes.
But it's not going to do that, and I can't really even think of anything where it's going to be all too useful.
I don't know.
So,
We'll figure it out. Hopefully, Google teaches us that, right?
they never do. I always want companies to be like, prove to me, or make me understand why this is good, or change my habit. We're talking about, I've been using the smartphone for like 12 years. So I'm in a habit of how I use my phone. And if we're talking about
I'm the
air
same.
gestures and stuff, that changes everything. So
Yeah, I feel bad about it. I think a lot of us probably fall into that, like we have our system. Doesn't matter what phone it is, I still set my phone up once I'm done reviewing them the same way I do every single phone, and then getting me out of that to use an S Pen or maybe do some flippy old gesture things. Yeah, I don't know if I'll adapt to that. Maybe. Like you
It
got to
could be
really
awesome.
like the one thing that Google did recently that I adopted was the squeezy side. I actually do squeeze the side of my Pixel 3 to launch Assistant because it's fast. Because I don't have to shout the stupid keyword. I can just squeeze it. But that's really simple. I don't know that like teaching me, like, I don't know if you remember when Wear OS tried to do all those gestures where you could go like flip it this way and it would scroll and flip it this way. And they created one that was like do a loop-de-loo thing. And it was like, no one's ever going to remember that. And I think they're still there, but they're just off out of the box because no one used it and it made absolutely no sense. So there are times when, some of that stuff is not great.
Hey, Google, what are you doing? We'll see. I mean, I'm a very positive guy,
It's true, you are.
so I'm an optimist. So we shall see.
We
Before we
did
get
get
to
go for it.
Sorry, nope. You were gonna say the donation. So
No, I wasn't going to say the donation. Who
Oh.
donated? Kato.
Kato,
Swedish krona. Is that what that is?
I do believe. Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't know what IDF stands for.
I don't know. Is okay if half the screen would work as one. Kato, appreciate that. Not totally sure what you're saying there.
I'm trying to look back and maybe give some context as to what we were talking about. I don't know. Sorry, Kato. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. I don't appreciate the donation though.
Very
Feel free
much.
to hit us up in the chat again. So Pixel 4 got a coming soon page on Best Buy. So Best Buy is
Nice.
saying we're coming soon. The only little bit of news we got there was there's this little note that says the motion sense, which is the Soli stuff that we're talking about, that it's not going to work everywhere. So like in Japan, So Japan's governing bodies, whoever controls radar frequencies or something, said no, that we do not want radar in everyone's face all day long. Whereas the US, Canada, Singapore, Australia, Taiwan, and most of Europe are apparently cool with Soli. So depending on where you buy the Pixel 4, you may not even get to use the motion sense. How does that work if you buy one and like travel to Japan? They obviously can't tell you to like disable it, right?
I have no idea.
I don't even know.
I don't travel anymore, man.
IDF means in-display fingerprint.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So then he
fingerprint.
said in-display fingerprint is okay if half the screen would work as one.
I agree with that.
Yeah, no, totally. The sweet spot sucks.
Yeah, like finding like the perfect spot in the lower half bottom. That's the problem. All right, we're on. All right, Kato, we got you.
All right, I get
Again,
you. He was
for the
abbreviating. That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Or slow.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for Pixel 4 news. There's just, we're starting to see leak after leak after leak. Actually, right before we came on the air, the guys at 9 to 5 Google released some camera news or something they had heard. So let's see. One was something about like high quality action shots, like if you're taking pictures of, say, sports or something like that. An improved night sight. And the ability to take pictures of stars. Oh, Tim, see, how are you not going to like buy this phone? You're like the star picture guy.
Oh, man. That's cool.
Yeah. So there's some things they're going to work on there. So apparently the camera is going to have some new advanced stuff, which is great because that's how Google's kind of been killing it lately, is with camera stuff like that. So
that's so crazy. So yeah. So what I'll do is obviously we'll get the Pixel 4 to test out night sight. We will expense a work trip out to the middle of Oregon where it's nice and dark, and we'll take some night shots and see if it's totally worth it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Let's go camping.
That sounds perfect. All right, that's pretty much for Pixel 4 stuff. Again, we have about a month. Google hasn't announced a date or anything like that. We just are assuming it's going to all go down in about a month.
Yeah.
Android 10 is here. So Android 10 stable, official. If you own a Pixel phone, you should have gotten the update right now. Up and running. I mean, it was available on Tuesday. So it dropped on Tuesday. We're in stable. It's Android 10. You guys know that. It's not Android Q, doesn't have a name. It's just Android Q, and then it went to Android 10. It's so if you were on beta 6, the update from beta 6 to stable was 5 megabytes.
5.5.
Yeah, 5.5. So in other words, if you were running 6, you were basically running stable. This like change. This I think this update probably added the Easter egg. That's probably like 2.5 megs, and then they changed a couple of numbers, and there you go. So that's 5.5 megs. So what's there to talk about? We've talked about all this stuff. So you have dark mode. I'm sure all you guys listening have like know what there. So dark mode. We have dark mode.
Do we have dark mode?
There's gestures. Let's go back to that
Smart reply in the notifications is probably my favorite thing. So far.
Yeah. So smart reply, if you don't know what that is, when you get a message from somebody, say Hangouts, a text message app, whatever. Almost all messaging apps, I think, do it at this point. And somebody sends you a link, like to a website or a YouTube video, or I don't know if it does it with like if somebody sends you an Instagram link. I haven't actually tested that yet. But Smart Reply like recognizes that and gives you a shortcut to whatever the app may best use that. So if it's a link to Droid Life, you'll get a link to or a button to tap to open it in Chrome, or a YouTube video to open it in YouTube. So very cool. Easily one of the best, most underrated features of Android 10, although it's like one little feature. But so full gestures, and Nick said hot take, Android 10 gestures are good. I wish YouTube had like a poll thing we could do while we were streaming, like in the chat, because I would love to get the real-time stats there on gestures. I mean, you can see pill, 2-button, pill action for life, for now anyway, because the gestures on 10 are terrible. You can't say that. Somebody else try to say that Android 10 gestures are good. I might ban you.
Bye.
There's just no way. There's just no way that anyone could actually think they're good. I actually turned them back on after I got 10, and was like, I'm gonna give them another run. It lasted 5 minutes, and because I went into an app and needed to do something on the side of something, and it swiped instead of like tapping or doing whatever I wanted it to. And then I just gave up. And I actually tried to do the like peek and hold thing. Isn't that what it's called? Peeking? Like you press on the side and it's supposed to like peek out a menu. It is the absolute worst idea Google has ever had. The peeking thing. I think I was even like up here, like in the quick tiles, and I tried to like swipe over to the next page, and I got just a little bit too far to the edge to try to switch pages, and it went back on me. Coda says swipe diagonally, but see, now I have to think, like, that's part of the problem is if you start going, well, swipe diagonally or do this kind of swipe, like, then you're just adding to the complexity. So that's the thing. I know, like, I've seen some people, like some dude on Reddit posted a video where he's like, swipe diagonally down. Like, so now I have to learn a gesture that's diagonally or a peek and hold, or, I mean, it's just, at this point, we're just getting way too stupidly complex. John Mel says you'll get used to it. Potentially, yeah, but it shouldn't take me like 5. Like I tried it for a good 2 or 3 days a while ago on one of the betas and was so frustrated by it because all the apps you have to like reach up and tap the menu up there. And with phones being giant, that's just a terrible idea.
I'm just, I'm used to the pill. I'm not really going to make a big deal about it. You're not going to see me write an op-ed or anything like that.
I did enough of those.
Yeah, but like I like the pill. It does exactly what I needed to. There's a dedicated back button for when I need it and a down button for the keyboard when it's up and I don't want it up. I can quickly get in and out of apps. I'm not confused about whether I'm swiping up or into the app drawer or whatever. Like it works fine for me, so I just don't plan on changing.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah, at least we've been given the option. What is it though? The OnePlus 7 Pro, the Android 10 beta that's out, it doesn't have the pill at all, right? Like all it has is 3 button, the stupid bad 10 gestures, and then OnePlus's gestures, which also aren't great. So some of these companies are, because they're supposed to with 10 adopt the, like this is supposed to be the standard gestures for Android going forward. And so they're all supposed to adopt it. Like Samsung, when they release gesture Android 10, they should also probably have to adopt these new gestures, and then they can add their own and whatever. But so it's very weird that this is like the default, that Google actually settled on this. Let's see what else is new. So Google Play system updates are there now. I still don't exactly know how or when you ever know when those are available. Like you can go into system settings and you can tap on this thing that says Google Play System Update and it'll check for one. But if it's called Google Play System Update, shouldn't you be getting these like within the Google Play app? I haven't seen that yet. And
getting notifications about it.
Like, have you seen that yet? I haven't. Nope. So that seems weird. Like something there's something broken in there. Because I did a video with a hands-on of Android 10 earlier, and I showed that you go in and tap, and I had an update. But if I had not known to go in there, so Google's got to figure that. Otherwise, what's the point in not letting people know? Let's see. Obviously, there's more privacy controls. There's supposed to be foldables and 5G support here, but there's no 5G phone running Android 10, so that doesn't matter. And there's also no foldables in the wild that you can actually buy that would run Android 10. So, like when the Galaxy Fold, which we'll talk about in a minute, arrives later this month, it doesn't run Android 10. So, like the whole foldable thing, we're like so far ahead that it's like you can't really even mention it as a thing. Let's see. So the Essential phone got Android 10 already, like stable Android 10. No surprise there. They pushed it out on that day. And like I said, the OnePlus 7 Pro and I believe the regular OnePlus 7, they have a beta of Android 10. So you can update all of that stuff already on some of those phones. Nothing from Samsung yet. No shocker. Nothing from Motorola. HTC is not really a company anymore. Nothing from LG. No shocker there. They're terrible with updates. Samsung, like some of their phones, like T-Mobile, I think has been flagging all of the S10s and Note 10s and say like, we're testing it, which I mean, we could be months. There's no beta yet for any of the S10s or Note 10s like we've seen, but those typically come in a couple of months. Yeah, if you want to run Android 10, buy a Pixel, buy a OnePlus, or if you still have an Essential phone. We got a statue. There is an Android 10 statue.
That's not a statue.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's so the Android
Get
team,
it out of here.
Yeah, they produce these statues every year when they were doing dessert names, And it was kind of one of those fun things. Like I remember when it was like a big thing where there was journalists like sneaking around the Google campus trying to get pictures and stuff. And that was fun. And now the we're not doing desserts. They just made a big 10 with a little bug droid guy peeking through it, and it's just not the same. Just you can't do that.
So what, next year there's gonna be a statue that just says 11,
right?
Like, just so we're
this
done
should be
with
the
statues.
last. Yeah, this should be the last. Yeah,
it has to be it.
Yeah,
because that's dumb.
Yeah, no more statues, because we don't need one that says 11 and then 12. It's just no. You ruined all the fun, Google. Stop right there.
What I don't appreciate is that so it was just something. There was something cute about it, Even people that I didn't really think were all that into tech, they were always curious about, what's the name of the new Android version? And it was always cool to it's Kit Kat or Oreo, or something, ice cream sandwich. Like, that's fun. It's part of the playfulness, I think, to the operating system. Yeah. Now that part of the soul is dead.
It is. Most of my family has Pixel phones, and so when the new update comes out, they're like, "Ooh, we get to talk about it like that week." Like they go, "Ooh, I got pie," or "I got lollipop." Like it's a thing, and I'm like, "Cool, that's right," because you guys all have Pixel phones. And it's like my wife was like, last night she goes, "I don't know if I like this Android 10," and I was like, "Oh, that's right. You probably already got it." She still has a Pixel 2. I was like, that's right. You probably did get that. When did you update? She's like, "I got a notification this morning." She's like, but then when she said it, she goes, "I don't know about this Android 10. It's like, yeah, it would have been cooler if she was like, "I don't know about this Android quesito," like whatever we thought it was going to be, right? It would have been a more fun conversation to hear her say the dessert name. But we're not there anymore. We're not doing that anymore.
I would have been fine, if it was just for Q, right? Like, I think we all understood that Q was sort of a hard one to do, but bring it back for R. There's some fantastic R options or S options, T options. Like, you didn't have to just kill it like that. Whatever. It's no big deal. It's just like one of those fun things that we're never going to see again. So.
Patty dropped $5 and said, I look forward to you guys every week. Terrence, which is apparently me, and Greg, which is apparently Tim, donate more when you pick a cool, hopefully animal charity. Thanks for the $5, Patty. Whoa, wait, what's the Terrence and Greg thing? Am I not getting that?
That's got to be a reference to something.
That's got to be a reference to something. Somebody fill us in. I don't know a lot today. We're like, what's IDF? Who the hell are Terrence and Greg? Appreciate the $5.
I know Terrence and Philip from South Park, but I don't know Terrence and Greg. I'll Google it just because I'm super curious.
And Sarah just dropped another $2. Sent y'all an email with charity suggestions. I saw that come through on my fabulous little Fossil Gen 5 here, Sarah. Thank you for that. Thanks for the $2 too.
Possibly a reference to American Dad.
So she said it's just a nickname. So if you tell people that you watch our show, you tell them that you're watching the Terrence and Greg show. It's kind of funny, actually.
I like it. I like the name Greg it's a great name.
Yeah, I'll take Terrence. It's fine.
I don't know if you look like Terrence.
I don't have any thoughts about Terrence, but I'll take it. Sure. Because when you're given a name, like you, like that's just your identity, like your name. Like, have you ever thought if you had like a different name, like if you were Greg, that would be kind of weird.
Yeah, would I have a different? Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I was bullied in school. Everyone called me Timmy the Tooth because I had like big front teeth. They were kind of bucky too. Yeah.
Did you say Timmy the Tooth?
Timmy the Tooth.
That's messed up.
It was.
Kids are mean as hell.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? When South Park came along and the character Timmy was in there, that was really rough. That was like 5th grade, and I could not go 5 seconds without someone going, "Timmy, Timmy," and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so brutal."
So annoying.
Yeah. Whatever. Thankfully, I was like, it's kind of popular back then, and I played sports, so I didn't get it too bad. I could have gotten it a lot worse, if I was one of those other kids who get it just bad. Kids are mean,
I just always got Kelly because no one can ever understand when they're like, "What's your name?" Kellen. They always go, "Kelly?"
Kelly.
No, and then Helen Keller. I got that a lot because it rhymed. Helen Keller, Kellen Heller.
Aw.
which is kind of mean too. I mean, I only did it and I just like
That's
probably
weird.
punched him or something. So we moved
Heck
on
yeah.
pretty quickly from it. But yeah, those were the two.
Two
Anyways.
things from Sarah Washington. Sarah Washington donated $2. Says sent y'all an email with charity suggestions. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
I already read that.
And then she says, watched DL at my mom's house once, and she said Tim looked like Justin Timberlake. So there's that. I mean, I'll take it. That's awesome. I just don't know if it's true.
Timmy the Tooth sounds like a mobster. I like that
Yeah,
take on
Timmy
it
the
better.
Tooth. I like that one. Good mob name.
This is spiraling out of control. All right, back on
Yeah.
on topics, people. Jeez, Patty, look what you did. The Terrence and Greg show. Love
We
it.
can, Nate. I mean, our next show could definitely just for one show only,
think
just
it
the
will be.
Terrence and Greg show.
Episode 213 will be Terrence
The
and
Terrence
Greg
and
show.
Greg show. I'm fine with that.
Pretty good. Okay, so speaking of Wear OS, there's a whole bunch of new watches. Well, there's a couple of things. I'll do this quickly. So Fossil Gen 5. I don't know if I talked about my review on air, but if you're buying a Wear OS watch, if you care about the platform at all, this watch it's actually pretty good. It's $300, so it's not cheap. But if you want a Wear OS watch, you've been dying to get one, this watch is actually really good. Like performance-wise, style-wise, all of that stuff, it actually runs quite well. So the Fossil Gen 5 platform is going to be one that you should consider, assuming you can get things on sale. Like Fossil always runs deals, so don't pay $300 for this. Wait until it drops to $230 or something, which I'm sure it will in like a week. And full review at the site if you really want to read all about that, more details. But sort of on a related note, what Fossil does is they create a platform. And so we're on Gen 5, and then all of their brands underneath the Fossil group, they then release watches built on that platform. So this week, Michael Kors announced 3 watches. Diesel and Puma and Armani also announced a bunch of watches, or at least one. And then within those, there's like different colors and stuff. So there's kind of a mix here. Like Michael Kors announced one watch called the MK Go, which is just a rebranded Fossil Sport. So it's got 512 megabytes of RAM, so you don't want that. You definitely want to do 1 gig RAM always. So MK Go is a Fossil Sport, but then they released a Bradshaw 2 and a Lexington 2, which are on the Fossil Gen 5. So they're the same watch as this. They just are Michael Kors branded with a slightly different case. Puma released its first watch. It's just a Fossil Sport. You should probably ignore it. But then Emporio, Armani, and Diesel released 2 watches or announced them, and they are Fossil Gen 5 watches. So like if you don't like this and you like the styling of these other ones, they're the same watch, just in a different case. Wait till they go on sale or something, or unless you just want to blow like, how much is the Diesel one? It's like $300.
$350?
Yeah, like I wouldn't pay $350 for your. I mean, like we talk about with branding and that you pay for the brand name. Like you really are with these Fossil group watches. Like they are. This is the same. Like this Diesel watch is the same exact watch as this. It just says Diesel and has a different case, and they want $55 more for it. Like there's nothing different about how it will work. So. Anyways, so the Wear OS world, it's not like it's super improved, but because Fossil did this Gen 5 line, you're going to have a whole bunch of actual quality options. They're unfortunately not super cheap. Like we're not talking $200, but they're going to be all good. They'll all be solid. They're all exactly the same watch. So anyway.
Who loves Diesel enough to go buy a $350
I didn't really
watch,
know they
dude?
were still a thing. I mean, when I went from high school to then college, I think that was like peak Diesel time, maybe a little bit later. When I got out of college, there was still a little bit of it around, but I didn't know that it was still a big deal. And like the watches, because remember they used to make their like this big. Like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
all the watches were like this big.
They were massive.
This one is not. It's 44 millimeter. I mean, it's kind of got like a hulky looking case on it, but it's still 44 millimeter case. So.
If anyone lives in San Francisco, do they still have that Diesel store like on Market Street? I mean, that's like the only reason I knew they existed.
It was
back
like on
in the
that
day.
weird corner, right? It's like a
Yeah.
cornery kind of store.
It was like across the way from where Virgin Music was,
Yeah.
if anyone was there back in the day. But anyway, Diesel, that's not my style. That doesn't even look all that good.
Yeah. Either way, there will be more. I think we're looking forward to the next Falster, who makes that? Who makes the
Skagen.
Skagen, yeah. So Skagen is a Fossil Group brand. There will be a Falster 3, which, if you've seen the Falster 1 and 2, they're two of the better looking Wear OS watches. They just, had bad specs or whatever. So if they build it on the Gen 5 platform, which I'm assuming they will, and put their own cool Skagen case and styling on it, that might be the one you kind of want to watch out for. Otherwise, just wait for these all to go on sale, or don't buy a Wear OS watch and see if there's actually a new processor next year. You could do that too.
Yeah. I mean, considering the licenses that Fossil Group has, we could see Wear OS from Adidas, Marc Jacobs, Burberry, DKNY. I mean, the list goes on and on. Like they've got them all.
Yeah, there'll be a Kate Spade watch. There'll be all that stuff. Yeah. Keith in the chat says Fossil always does sales. They seriously do. I know this just came out, and you may be like, "Oh, I want the shiny new one." No, just wait a month, and I bet it'll be $240 or $230. It'll be $60 off. So anyway. All right. So also at IFA this week, a whole bunch of Google Assistant related things, Lenovo products. We have news on the Nest Hub Max. What time is it? We're good. So Google Assistant now will have an ambient mode, and Google hasn't revealed a ton of details about when anyone will get this. But so ambient mode will basically turn any tablet, even your smartphone, into kind of a smart display. Like this ambient mode will kick on through Google Assistant, and it'll show you like notifications, upcoming meetings. You'll have smart home controls, music controls, video control, whatever is going on. So if you have a smart display, you kind of know what some of this UI looks like. So they've created, it's called ambient mode. It'll come initially to 2 Lenovo devices. They're new. They're both tablets. One sits in a dock. One has a built-in stand. And it'll be on those. And then Nokia also announced 2 new phones, a 7.2 and 6.2, and it'll be on those. I'm not sure why Google wanted to announce them for those first, but we're just assuming that because it's a Google Assistant thing, it's going to come to everyone's phone at some point. And that's kind of all they said. But it'll be kind of cool. Like when you plug your phone in to charge it, it'll flip to this like ambient mode. Or if you put it on your Pixel Stand, the Pixel Stand UI might actually be useful now in this ambient mode instead of whatever the Pixel Stand UI is. So kind of cool, although it adds a level of confusion to smart displays. Like we have these smart displays that have their own UI, but now we have tablets and phones that have this ambient mode. I don't know why those aren't sort of just similar things, but
this is so Google.
It really,
they don't know what's really going on.
Well, and not only that, but like Google's Smart Hub or Nest Home Hub or whatever the hell it's called now, it runs a different software than like Lenovo Smart Display. It runs like a Chrome OS, or not Chrome OS, but like some sort of thing based off Chrome or Chromium or something. And then those other ones run like a special smart, like, or Android things. Like it's very complicated. And now there's this third thing, which is great.
Yeah, very Google.
Speaking of smart displays, Lenovo announced a new 7-inch smart display that looks, I don't want to say it looks nothing like the original ones, but it's taller, speaker on the bottom.
Looks nothing like the original one.
Yeah, you're right. I think the back might, like the white contoured back maybe. Otherwise,
how can you say that looks like the new one, considering the old one's got bamboo and stuff? It looks nothing like it.
Well, so I think the 8, so the big guy, the 10 comes in bamboo. The 8 used to come with like kind of a gray matte finish. So this kind of reminds me of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. So either way, it's coming soon. It's cheap though, right? Yeah, $129. Wait, how much was that stupid clock? Oh, that was $80.
$79.
That's right. Okay.
Way too
So
much.
129, not bad. What's the Nest Hub at these days? Like 129, I think.
Probably.
I think so.
Always on sale for $99.
Always on sale for 99 or under. So that's coming October, so fairly soon. $129 doesn't look too bad. But there are other 2 products. The Smart Tab M8 is a tablet that you can take off a dock and like walk around your house and use like a very basic version of like a tablet mode.
Yeah.
And then when you dock it, it does this new ambient mode. Then there's a Yoga Smart Tab, which is like a full-blown Android tablet. But it also does this ambient mode. It has like a built-in stand and stuff.
I want all 3 of these products.
In some way, right? Don't you?
In some way or another, for certain use cases. Like I definitely want the Tab M8 for on the coffee table.
Right.
Just to have sort of like a quick little portable Android tablet experience. But I don't really need a full-blown Android tablet.
Too, aren't they?
Yeah, it's only $149, something like that.
Yeah, so the Smart Tab, the full-blown tablet is $249, and then the Smart Tab thing with the weird tablet mode is $120.
Yeah.
That's really cheap.
Yeah, they're giving it away. And then next to that on the coffee table, I want the Yoga Smart Tab or whatever. That way, in case I do want full-blown Android apps and games, then I can have access to that as well.
Just have a coffee table full of screens in front of you.
Pretty much.
Depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
We got an official date on the Nest Hub Max. So a couple weeks ago, one of the Google support pages posted that September 9th would be the day you could buy the Nest Hub Max. And then they pulled that. Well, this week they posted that date to the actual Nest Hub Max page. So that is next. Wait, that's Monday.
That's Monday.
So Monday, you'll be able to buy the Nest Hub Max. I'm assuming there's going to be reviews or something on that morning. I don't have one, just in case anyone's wondering. I will not have a review for you, but $229 for that bad boy.
I also assume this product will not sell out. So
probably not. You'll probably be able to buy it anywhere. It looks great, but I already have enough of these things around my house. Like, I don't need that thing. I know, like, it's kind of cool that the camera will go, hey, it's you. Let me flip over to your stuff. That's kind of cool, but at the same point, like, I have a Lenovo 10 in my kitchen, and I barely use it, so.
Yeah.
But September 9th, that's Monday. So buy one if you want.
Just wait for everyone wait for Black Friday.
Yeah.
Man, like if you're thinking about any Google product, just hold off for a month.
That is true.
Just chill. 2 months. But yeah.
It is true. It is really hard to ever suggest you buy one of these Google smart home products at full price because they either give them away for free when you buy things like phones, or they just heavily discount, or they give you credits for this and that. And yeah, they're always running a sale. In fact, I think I wrote a piece earlier this year that said you should never pay full price for a Google Home product. And it pretty much stand by that. So yeah, don't buy this on Monday. Wait like a month and it'll be like $50 off.
You can wait that long. I know as Americans, we were taught that consumerism is the greatest thing ever and that we have no patience, but just try to wait.
Chill, man.
Hold out. And if you can wait for Cyber Monday, even better. It's only a few more days.
Yeah. All right, so quickly, Galaxy Fold news. I wish I could tell you that I had one and show you how awesome it is to unfold it and break it. But
I've got one of those around here.
Yeah, the Galaxy Fold is officially back. In fact, if you live in Korea, you could have purchased one, I think, this morning. Yeah. Apparently, there was only 1,000. At least that's what the interwebs have said. Yeah, unfold that fold. Nice.
Oh, oops.
Just as fragile.
Yeah.
So it sold out really quickly apparently because they only made who knows how many, and it's coming to the U.S. so they won't give us a date. Probably this month. It could be October for the U.S. Tough to say. It doesn't seem like they've dropped the price at all. Let's see what else. Oh, so in terms of fixes, they tightened up the hinge system. They put some other stuff under the glass, I think, to add some strength, and they put little plastic caps at the top and bottom so that hopefully lint doesn't get in and break your $2,000 phone. I will say it certainly seems like they are over this phone. Like Samsung, I think, is over, right? So
they know they screwed up.
When they initially launched it back in April and let you order it, remember there was like the pea gold color and there was like that purpley blue and there was silver and black and you could choose the color of like the hinge and you could almost customize the phone and they were super hyped about it. So now that they've returned it, it's only available in 2 colors. You can get silver or black. Like that's it. The gold is gone. The blue's gone. So they got rid of all those. Again, like early reports from this morning said that Korea sold out and I don't know where the original number came from, but I've seen a couple places now where people said like there was only 1,000 of them in an entire country where the company's based. I don't know that I really believe that, but
I don't know if I believe that.
I don't know if I believe that either, but apparently it was super limited. And I'm assuming, yes, that Samsung is just over and they're just going to move on, which kind of sucks because I'm still going to buy one, but it now makes it even stupider to do that because you know there's just another foldable thing probably in the works. It's going to come out in like 6 months and this thing is I still need it. I still need it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, and I'm not trying to be rude to anyone. Like, if you're hyped about this phone, like I was initially, like, I understand, but at the rate at which we saw the issues pop up and Samsung's history with these sort of things in terms of when they recall something, then, re-release it, I just don't think it's a good idea to spend $2,000. hey, it's not my money. Like, I get it. If you want to spend that, feel free. We're definitely getting one just because, hey, that's our job. It makes sense for us to have one.
Hmm.
But for the average folks, well, I want to say average folks who don't review phones, I would probably hold off on this one.
Yeah.
At least wait for reviews. Like, you don't need to be first in line for this thing. I don't think so.
I would still not tell anyone to buy this thing. I mean, they put plastic caps in the top and bottom, so that's not like, we're not talking full protection against something again getting in that hinge and then breaking your display. And they tightened up the back, sure, but I mean, these phones are they might last a little bit longer than the 1 week that reviewers had them, but this is, you should not do it. Let me be the stupid one. I will do it and I'll play with it and tell you if it's cool. And then I will tell you to just wait for the next one, because this one you should just not buy. No one should buy this. No.
Yeah.
No.
Wait for iFixit to get another one of these new units and do their breakdown or their tear down. The good folks at iFixit.
Yes.
And
Our
shout out to
sponsor.
iFixit, our sponsor for today's
trivia.
episode.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Rick Cockerell in the chat says DL listeners equal well above average. Yes, I meant, average consumer, not average people. Come on now, average consumer.
We're definitely all well above average people. Damn it.
Yeah, we're all gorgeous and beautiful. Brandon Fisher asking if he should wait in line for this. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is I don't even know if you'll ever find this in a single store. Initially, I don't know if they were going to have it in many stores, maybe a Best Buy or something, but it was like an online only thing that you had to buy for $2,000, and they're going to try to give you some special premium 24/7 service. Like, who needs 24/7 call access to support for your Galaxy Fold? It's because they're just worried. They're worried.
Galaxy Fold owners need it because their phone just, this is a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. I actually can't believe they're bringing it back.
I can't even.
And the fixes, sure, they might be okay, but
They could be.
you know me and phones, like, this thing is going to last
dangerous.
like maybe 2 days in my hands.
Can you not break it before I get to play with it, please?
I mean, I will try.
Actually, once you get it in the house, I'll
You should just come
over.
right over before
and we'll just
I
look at it
break
together.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is correct. That's actually a good idea. Let's see. In other quick news, OnePlus TV, a page from Amazon India, I believe, posted about a little bit about the OnePlus TV since it's going on sale there first. And they said it's going to have Dolby Vision, 8 speakers, Dolby Atmos sound, and 3 years. Well, no, I don't think they said the 3 years of Android TV, but they revealed that stuff. We also know now that it's going to have Android TV for sure, and 3 years worth of updates. At least, I should say at least. I'll give them that. And then we got to look at the remote last night from Pete Lau. And the remote, I mean, it looks like any smart TV remote or smart TV box remote. It's clean, silver, possibly metal. Has the Android TV buttons, Google Assistant button, D-pad like you'd get. The only things that are worth sort of talking about is there's a OnePlus button. There's a blank button, and then there's a menu button. There's also a volume rocker on it, which is nice, and USB-C port on the bottom, so you'll be able to recharge this thing. What do you think the OnePlus button's for? Like, is there going to be my guess is there's just going to be like some sort of OnePlus hub you can pull up that tries to present you shows or something, I'm guessing, right? Something like that.
I assume so. Maybe they'll have like a game launcher thing or something. I mean, kind of like NVIDIA does.
Yeah. So that shows just some of the customization that OnePlus is probably going to do with Android TV, which is fine because Android TV is pretty bare bones. Google doesn't really mess with it too much. So I'm actually sort of excited to see what OnePlus can maybe do to improve it. Like they've done with their phones where they took stock Android and they added some cool stuff on top that we like, but kept the experience similar. Again, I've talked about this a number of times. I didn't think anyone was allowed to do this to Android TV except for like carriers and cable operators. But if they're going to allow people like OnePlus to do it, as long as they improve it and still update it frequently, that's fine with me.
I got a bad feeling about this OnePlus TV thing, man. Like, I don't know. The price has got to be exceptionally low. Like, they got to go back to the OnePlus 1, OnePlus 2 days of pricing because the way
like
TVs are priced these days, it's got to be super cheap. You can get the Hisense Android TV 4K for like $399. I don't know how OnePlus expects to break into this market. Like, everyone in America... And I know they're launching in India first. I'm just talking about America. I don't know what the TV market is like in India. But here in America, everyone's got a big old whopping 4K TV that they bought for under $1,000 because the tech has gotten so cheap. I don't know what OnePlus is thinking with this move. Because
It's a
if they
weird one.
think Vizio is gonna let this stand, or Samsung or LG, this is their territory. I I don't know if this is gonna last very long.
We'll see how it goes. I want one just because I want to play with their Android TV
Well,
experience.
duh, what?
I just
Yeah.
wish they, yeah, but that's the thing is I don't need another damn TV. I've got two in the house. They're new enough. I don't want to like have to try to replace one or anything, but I want to see their take on Android TV. Like I wish instead of making a full blown TV, they would have just made a box. Like just compete with Nvidia's Shield, because Nvidia like does good enough with the Shield, but OnePlus like has a bigger brand recognition in terms of like the mobile industry, like consumers, right? Like people love OnePlus phones. They could have sold like a $75 Android TV box that was spec'd out that just plugs into everyone's TV, and then you hit everyone because not everyone wants to spend $1,000 on a TV. They should have made a box. Should have made a box, not a freaking TV. It's just weird.
I'm with you. A box would have been cool.
Box would have been cool. All right, so briefly, and I'm sorry, Bertzer, there was other news at IFA this week. So LG announced, well, Tim basically just showed you the phone. It's a G8X, and it's not a foldable, but it's a phone that docks into a case that has a second screen. I believe they tried this initially with the first G8, and no one cared.
With the V50.
Oh, was it for the V50? That's what it was. So now there's a G8X, which is basically that phone, but with a 1080p display. Everything else is the same, and it has a case that has a secondary display. I don't know if it's cool or not. To be honest, I don't really care. And they said it's coming to key markets. I don't even know if it's coming to the U.S. There are now 3 G8 variants, by the way, though. There's the G8, the G8S, and the G8X. One has a triple camera, one down to 1080p. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, but we know that LG doesn't really know what they're doing anymore. Motorola announced the One Zoom, which is actually available now. They didn't keep it perfectly under wraps, but they kept it secret enough that all of a sudden they were like, it's available. You can buy it right now online. In the US, it's GSM only, so AT&T and T-Mobile has quad cameras. It actually looks kind of slick for a weird quad camera phone, probably just because the colors are kind of cool, but it's $450. If you buy it in the US, it's not actually an Android One phone. So Motorola brands all these phones as Motorola One, and everywhere else in the world they're Android One, where they get the basic version of Android and they get frequent updates. In the US, Motorola's like, no, we're going to put our skin thing on it, so they're not actually Android One. So that pisses me off, so I don't really want to go too much into it. I think it's stupid that they separate the markets like that. And then finally for Bertzer, who I don't think ever finishes the show. He's always here like early on to say hi, and then I can't ever tell if he's still here at the end. No, he usually shows up for the trivia. Sony announced the Xperia 5, and I have like nothing to add there. They announced the Xperia 5. It's sort of like their other Xperia phones that look like a really long candy bar. 1080p display, Snapdragon 855, triple camera. It's just smaller than the Xperia 1, and so I don't know how we went from 1 to 5, by the way. It's probably okay. I keep going back to, and I know that DxOMark is not the king of all camera ratings, but DxOMark rated the Xperia 1 camera like a 91, which puts it down there with, I don't know, like the OnePlus 6 or something. Like 91 is not a good score, and this phone just came out. So the Xperia 5, I'm assuming is going to have the same terrible camera. I don't know who's going to buy that phone. Anyway, that's about all I got.
Poor Bertzer.
Poor Bertzer. Love you, Bertzer.
Yeah.
Kind of sad.
All hail DxOMark.
Sad. See, Jamel said Android One is amazing. I agree. Android One is a great thing that Google has done. The problem is they just don't really let anyone in the US do the Android One thing, or there's something weird going on there because, Motorola in the US doesn't actually do Android One on their phones. Even if they fall under that one brand, they actually just come with Motorola's normal minimal skin, which means updates are slower. Hi, Bertzer.
He's here.
And so, I wish Android One was a bigger deal in the US. I actually would like to know if Google is not allowing people to, because, like, can you name an Android One phone that's in the US?
No, I don't think they're I'm thinking.
Oh, there was a Moto X4 at one point that was. And you could only really buy it through like Fi or something like that. Well, no, I think it was only sold like through Fi.
And we know that America, they apparently like mid-range phones. I mean, the 3A, apparently
Nokia 7.1 might be, and the Nokia 9 PureView. So Nokia and the Moto X4. I think those are it. I like there are other ones like Xiaomi obviously doesn't sell their phones here. And Motorola's, when they're here, they're not actual Android One phones. So I guess it's a couple of Nokia phones, and then that other one I just said, Moto X4 from back in the day. So that kind of sucks.
Patty says, y'all need some coffee.
Right here.
Kind of feeling like it, Patty.
Mm-hmm. Brandon says, who sells these phones? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't even know. Like, you can go to Best Buy, I think, and buy some of these Nokia phones. Speaking of DxOMark and Nokia, the Nokia PureView 9, which had like the 17 cameras and that weird setup on the back.
Yeah.
DxOMark rated them today, I believe, and it got like an 88 or something. It got worse. Jesus. It got worse than the Sony phone. So, not good. Not good at all. It's probably Motorola just trying not to make the Moto G series look terrible. I don't know, Mr. Dave Bo9. I don't know because I feel like they're even backing away a little bit from the G. And the G's not a one line, so I don't know. It's odd. All right, anyways, it's trivia time. Tim's got the lights going. It's trivia time. Talking about these weird mid-range phones that no one will buy. It's trivia time. If you're new around here, we do DL Show trivia at the end of almost every show. And that means we run through 5 questions. We put each one up on the screen one at a time. And if you're watching live and you're in the YouTube chat, you answer by just typing as fast as you can with your little fingers. And if your answer is right and you are first on our screen to be right, we will call out your name and you win. It's that simple. We put a question up, Tim reads it, you type out the answer, you be first. And we say you win if you are first. So some people go audio only at this point. Some people go 144p. If you're, if you got that fiber, you can stay at 1080p, whatever you need to do to get that super crisp, super fast, low latency, amazing connection to the show, then you can win. I'm giving you a chance to do whatever you want right now. That's why I'm rambling, by the way. So, again, we put the questions up. You answer. You get prizes. This week, the folks at iFixit are giving away 5 of their essential electronics toolkits. So you can win. 5 of you will win an essential electronics toolkit from iFixit.
Okay.
I think I talked enough. Do you think people are ready?
Yeah. No theme today.
No theme.
Just gonna be some good old fashioned Android trivia.
Soccer Burn says, or just pull up in Kellen's driveway. That's right. Eric Ortiz often wins, and he often is parked in my driveway.
That is
on
the
my Wi-Fi,
pro tip,
I believe. Or I just run a cable out to him from the router. One of the two.
Not trying to get you swatted or anything, but there is a house that's close to you that's for sale. So if someone really wants that good connection to you, you can just live right next door to Kellen.
If you really want an endless supply of iFixit toolkits and chargers and headphones and swag and backpacks, you could buy the house next to me.
Nice. I have to go look at it. I want that stuff. All right, I'm ready for question number 1.
All right. Question number 1 is up right now.
What year was Google Assistant unveiled? Again, what year was Google Assistant unveiled? I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but what year was it?
This is all a guess for everyone. It's going to go. Brrr,
Yep. Oh, I saw it. I saw it. We've got Eddie Daniels.
Yeah, Eddie Daniels.
Eddie Daniels with the correct answer of 2016.
Nice job, Eddie.
Oh, Eddie, you're the man.
Everyone's just throwing out numbers there. That's a straight guess question.
2012? Just 12.
2016. Eddie Daniels. Good job.
Heck yeah, good job.
It is
really new.
Yeah.
All right, here comes a toughie. Let's go with question number 2, please.
All right, question number 2 is up now.
What is the max refresh rate available for the Razer Phone 2? It should have been worded, what is the max refresh rate available for the Razer Phone 2's display?
Mm-hmm.
I see Riggs. Riggs
Riggs
Royana.
Royana. 120.
Nice. 120. 120 hertz.
120. Sarah dropped that
Nice.
60, but we can go up to 120 with the Razer Phone 2.
Yeah, you can.
Dave Bonine, Evan, you were also close. Soccer Burn, you're close, but Riggs first on our screen. 120.
Riggs.
120.
Congratulations, Riggs. Sarah read it as Pixel 2. Ugh. Fail. Okay. That was a good one. Get ready for some typing. Here we go. Question number 3, please.
Question number 3 for the typing is up now.
What does FCC stand for? Again, what does FC, like the government body, what does FCC stand for?
Type.
Tippity, 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 tippity. It's got to be perfectly spelled.
You want it perfectly? Okay.
Absolutely, it's got to be perfect. This might take me time, but it's got to be perfect. Nope. 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 Nope.
Wait. Somebody's
seeing
got to have
Joey.
this right. Joey has it spelled
Yeager.
correctly.
It looks like it. Federal Communications, double M, double S. Joey Yeager. Whoop, whoop.
Sarah missing an E in federal. Rick missing an S in commission.
Bad spellers. Joey Yeager, thanks for hanging in there with us, man, while we got to your correct answer of Federal Communications Commission. Nice.
Yeah, Joey had that right. That is funny. That's a tough one. That's some typing. And those are those tricky words. Commission's a tough word.
Commission's a toughie.
I probably type it wrong every time. I probably go, is it 1M, 2
1M,
S's, 2
nah,
M's,
commission. And yeah, that's a tough one.
That is tough.
Unless you're an ultimate speller like me.
Clinton, I see that. Not going to approve it.
Yep, not approving, but we see it and it's funny. All right. Let's go with question number 4, please.
All right. Question number 4 is up right now.
Who was the first automaker to offer Android Auto support in a vehicle? Again, who was the first automaker to offer Android Auto support in a vehicle?
Guessing game again.
Not
Here
Mercedes, not Toyota, not VW. Holy, it just
go.
exploded the chat. Okay. We're
Xavier?
scrolling on.
I see. Somebody's got it.
I see Xavier
Yeah.
X is the first one with the correct answer. Yes?
Yep. Xavier X.
With the correct answer of Hyundai.
That's right. Xavier X with Hyundai.
It was the 2016 or 15? No, 16 Sonata.
I remember that.
Man.
I remember they were first.
Heck yeah.
Hyundai, Xavier X, Hyundai.
And I was super bummed because I was like, I don't want a Hyundai. And now I saw a commercial yesterday for that Palisade, that big old SUV. I was like, okay, I see you. That thing looks pretty sweet. Nice. Hyundai.
Nice.
Anyway.
Xavier X, nice job. You win an iFixit toolkit. 5 essential electronics toolkits is what we're giving away.
Nice.
You win a toolkit. Stick around for a minute. You'll email Tim. We got one more question, though.
Here we go. Question number 5. Final question.
Question number 5 is up now.
How much RAM came with the Nexus 4? We're just looking for a single dig here, basically, or 2 digs and 2 letters if you want. Oh, that was quick. William
quick.
Perella. William Perella with the correct answer of 2 gigs.
William Perella with the 2 gigs real quick.
Goodness gracious.
That's that connection we're talking about. That's that
Yeah.
fiber. We know you got that fiber.
He does. He's got that.
William Perella with the 2 gig. 2 gigs of RAM.
That was really fast. He
And 8 gigs of storage with no SD slot.
Yeah.
It was like $299, I think, for that phone, but still 8 gigs.
No LTE.
8 gig storage, no LTE, 2 gig RAM.
They reverted. That's so Google to revert, dude.
It really was. I remember Andy Rubin saying, like, LTE sucks. We're not doing this again. We did it last year, and it was terrible. And everyone went, really? You're really going to go backwards?
Really, bro? Let's not talk about Andy Rubin. Winners, I just placed my email address in the chat. So if you are named Eddie Daniels, Riggs Royana, Joey Yeager, Xavier X, or William Perella, email me. I know a couple of you already got my stuff because you all some winners. Email me. We'll get your iFixit toolkit out to you.
Email the Tim.
We got some donos from Riggs. He sent $2 for shipping, which again is not necessary.
It's not necessary.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
that, though.
We got your shipping. Charles W. with the big $15 bomb says, Vols lost last week, but this show cheered me up. Go Niners.
It's a PC 747
yeah.
bomb there.
Heck yeah. The Niners, man. I have high expectations.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. I love Garoppolo. He's so gorgeous. Really? I love him.
He is a handsome man. That is for sure.
A handsome man. And, he's just, yeah. Anyway.
Eddie Daniels with $5 as well.
Oh, Eddie,
don't have to do that.
Don't have to do for shipping, man. We got you, bruh.
Appreciate that, though.
Yeah. I'm excited about football. I'm not so much excited, about the politics that might be associated with it these days.
Speaking of football, the DL NFL Football Eliminator 2019 is open. We're giving away a Nest Hub Max. Forgot to mention this.
Nice.
If you want to join, because we started it so late with only like a day and a half where you could sign up before that first game last night, I opened it back up. If you did not get in the NFL Challenge, the DL Football, what it's called, we got in trouble. The NFL was like, don't use
DL
our name.
Football Eliminator Challenge.
It's the DL Football Eliminator Challenge, the longest name ever. You can still get in. So if you didn't get in, go get in. I could probably drop you a link, actually.
Yeah, Joshua Worth with another $5 donation says, because I followed you guys for almost 10 years and appreciate what you do. Don't remind me how long we've been doing this, man. I remember I was just a young kid, really.
It's a young pup.
Yeah, just a young pup. Now I wake up, my back hurts, knees hurt.
You're old now.
Oh, dude, it sucks. But thank you very much, Joshua. Very generous, very kind. I hope you stick with us for another 10 years.
Appreciate it, Josh. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Almost 10. The site will be 10 years old in December.
What are we gonna do? We gotta have like a birthday party or something.
Should probably do something.
We should do something. All right. Something. And we got time to plan it. It's still early.
We do. We have time to plan. Kind of crazy.
Okay.
That Eliminator Challenge, by the way, it's free to do. You don't have to know anything about football. You basically pick one winner every week, and if you don't get any wrong all year, because somebody's always perfect, you pretty much can't get any wrong all year. But yeah, then you'll win an Nest Max. So
nice. We should definitely. I'm trying to think. Like we gotta pimp the site out. Something. Like DL10 or something. Galaxy Fold giveaway, says Trevor McGrath. Unlikely.
Unlikely. Yeah. Because the one I'm going to use is probably going to break, and that would probably be the one I would give away.
You got 24/7 support, so don't worry if it breaks. Samsung's got your back.
I wonder what kind of support they're going to do though if a piece of lint still gets in there and breaks. Like they're obviously going to have to replace that.
Yeah. Joshua Worth with another $5 says, for Kellen to try the new Android 10 gestures for a week, solid.
Just not going to happen. I cannot do it.
Refund.
I've tried. Yeah, I'm going to have to give you a refund on that. I just can't do it. I've tried and tried and tried. Those gestures are that back gesture is just such a terrible idea. And also just the swiping up and holding and swiping over and all. It just, my brain just can't do it. I like my button. I like my pill. I could swipe on a pill.
I'm addicted to pills, man. What can I say? Yeah, I like the pill. Real quick, Charles says, what's your favorite phone release of the last 10 years? Jesus. I mean, I like the HTC One X. Like, that's probably always still been like my favorite hardware device. That Galaxy Nexus.
I still go back to, even though the phone actually wasn't that great, they had that original Moto X.
Yeah.
And mostly because, like, that was when Google took over and they made a phone that was quite a bit different than everyone. Like, at the time, like, remember, like, the processor was a year old and the camera was terrible and the display wasn't great. Like there was a whole bunch of problems with that phone, but like the twist gesture and the updates, because remember they were like, we're going to update this phone. They did it like in a week from when Google released the software. There was just some things that in the customization, like you could order the phone and pick all these colors and textures, and then they would ship it to you after they assembled it in Texas. Like that's one of those that stands out as just being so much different than what everyone else was doing, even though the phone wasn't amazing. But that's one of those releases I won't forget. Other than that, I mean, like all the Samsung phones kind of blend together. I mean, we'll never forget the Note 7 because it, caught on fire or whatever.
Blew up.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, the Moto X was a
Nexus
good one.
5.
I mean, there's been some great phone releases, so it's a tough question.
Yeah, but the Moto X is the one I remember just because you could customize the damn thing.
Yeah, so I was gonna say B Barber 19 with the correct answer of Federal Communications Commission. It's just
Right on
a little late.
Right
Sorry,
time.
B. That's a bummer.
Swipe up at an angle to pull out the drawer. Just can't do it. You can't tell me to swipe diagonally and cross angle downwards. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Android 10 is decent though. Android 10 is a solid release. Although we you know what we really need? We really need to be able to schedule. By the way, if you're listening and you're expecting like anything big to come up, like other news, we're not. Usually at the end of the show, we just kind of ramble and talk to chat. So we appreciate it. Everyone wants to keep hanging out. But if you're like waiting for something else to happen, we just kind of do this at the end of most shows. We just BS. So Android 10 though, what it needs is scheduling dark theme. Like, you know how like you can set the nightlight. It's nightlight, right? Where it turns the screen to amberish, yellowish color. So you can schedule that based on sunrise, time of day. Why can't we do that with dark theme? Like you should be able to flip that, and I shouldn't have to manually do it all the time, right? The other thing that sucks about dark theme is that there was a point where they were flipping all of their apps over with dark theme. Like you could go into Google News and manually turn on dark theme. Like you could do it manually, but now they're trying to base it off of systems. So like in the middle of the day, if you have your phone set to light mode, like turning some apps into dark mode, like I don't think you can really do because they're following whatever the system is. That seems weird. We need all those controls. So Sean says, why are you anti-dark theme? I'm not anti-dark theme.
It's anti-dark theme.
I'm not anti-dark theme, but I want it to be timed. Like during the day, I tend to like things a little bit lighter. I don't like to live in the dark. But at night, for sure, I love me some dark theme. But I want to be able to schedule it. I schedule all my other stuff. Let me schedule.
You can
some
schedule
things.
it on a Samsung One UI device.
Yeah, see? Come on. How many years behind do we really want to be, Google? Oh, Jamel's anti-dark theme. You're crazy. Tim and I are anti-black dark theme. We want we want grayish, sort of dark, almost black dark theme, right?
Yes.
Or that whatever that weird colors that Twitter uses. I really like that. It's almost like a bluish gray, dark.
Well, yeah, it's like a dark gray. It's nice. Yeah, it's bluish. It kind of looks like the DL, like kind of gray, not as blue or purplish, but
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you guys are laughing at.
I know. I was like, hey,
stop it.
Anyone who clips that perfectly is.
Yeah, you could clip that and it would make Kellen look really bad.
They got you.
And of course, the internet would do that because they're all a bunch of a-holes when I'm talking about a theme of a phone. Yeah.
The internet sucks, dude.
The internet does really suck. This is correct.
About time to retire.
Anything else then?
No, before you get us sued? Nah, I think I'm good.
Seriously. All right, cool. Well, let's see. Donations. Nick, Sarah, Maj hates all. Tech Boner, my guy. Cato, Patty, Sarah again, Riggs, PC747, Eddie, Josh a couple times. Appreciate the donos. Thank you guys so much. We will come up with a charity very soon so that we can hopefully start that. Just keep reminding us, Sarah. We got those recommendations. If you have other recommendations for a charity you might like us to support with donations, let us know. I think that's
winners. I've only got 3 emails so far, so keep sending them in.
Email.
Thank you.
Email Tim now. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Droid Life.
Peace.
Peace.